The waiting room smelled like bleach and fear. Machines hummed beyond the ICU doors, steady, mechanical, uncaring. My wife lay somewhere behind that glass, motionless, blood still under her nails. Car accident, they said, lost control on an empty road. I should have been praying. Instead, I was staring at my daughter, 11 years old, pale, trembling. Her small hand gripping mine like a secret she was afraid to hold alone. "Dad," she whispered, eyes darting toward the nurses. "We have to run, now." I blinked. "What?" Her lip quivered. "I can't tell you here." Something cold settled in my stomach. I looked around. The corridor, the glass, the faces watching. There were none. Only us. Her fingers dug deeper into my palm. "Please," she said, "before they come." But before I could ask, a nurse appeared. "Sir, we need your signature for the surgery." When I turned back, my daughter was gone. They said children react differently to trauma, shock, confusion, flight response. I wanted to believe that. I tried to. But that night, when I found her in the hospital parking lot, barefoot, clutching her mother's phone like a weapon, I knew it wasn't trauma. It was fear. "Who are you running from?" I asked. Her voice cracked. "Mom." It didn't make sense. My wife was unconscious, breathing through tubes. But my daughter's terror wasn't imagined. It was raw, ancient, real. She handed me the phone. She told me not to look. But I did. The screen was cracked. Messages filled the screen. Unknown numbers, encrypted chats, names I didn't recognize. Hidden folders, videos. My wife had been living a second life. One where she wasn't my wife. In one of the videos, she was sitting in her car, laughing softly. The same car that now sat mangled on the highway. A man's hand reached into frame, touching her cheek. Her voice was quiet. "He'll never know." I closed the phone. My heart didn't race. It slowed. Steady, deliberate. Because the accident suddenly looked less like fate and more like consequence. Over the next few days, I played my part, grieving husband, protective father. But my mind was elsewhere. I copied the data from her phone, hired a cybersecurity analyst under the guise of identity theft. What he found wasn't just an affair, it was organized, coordinated. A series of wire transfers, secret accounts, hidden properties, all tied to a man named Mark Laird, a name that appeared in her messages one too many times, the same name that had paid for the SUV she crashed in, the same man listed as her emergency contact on one of her medical forms, before my number replaced it. I felt the edges of my life folding in on themselves. At home, my daughter barely spoke. She'd drawn something in her notebook, our family, but my wife's figure was crossed out, surrounded by red lines. "Why did Mom lie?" she asked one night. I didn't answer. Instead, I started tracing every lie back to its root. Every late-night meeting, every business trip, every smile that didn't reach her eyes. Each thread led to one place, Mark's company. And the accident? It happened 2 miles from his house. Coincidence dies under repetition. When my wife finally woke up, her voice was hoarse. "Where's Emily?" "She's fine," I said. "She's with my sister." Her relief was immediate, genuine, and wrong. I handed her the phone. "You left this in the car." Her eyes widened. Her fingers trembled as she scrolled. She tried to speak, but the ventilator's shadow still clung to her voice. "Please, you don't understand." "I understand enough," I said. Tears slipped down her face, not from pain, from exposure. She confessed without words. Every look, every hesitation screamed guilt. I leaned close. "Tell me, was he the one driving behind you that night?" Her silence was my answer. She didn't crash. She was running. From him, from me, from the weight of everything she'd built on deceit. I didn't turn her in. I didn't scream. I didn't destroy her life. I simply handed her a folder. Bank statements, messages, the will I'd quietly updated. Her signature still existed on all the transfers, not mine. She stared at it, realizing the trap she'd built for herself, brick by brick, lie by lie. Her voice broke. "You can't do this." "I already did." "Please, I'll lose everything." "You already did." I stood, straightened my jacket. "You wanted to start a new life. I just made sure it's the only one you'll get." She stayed in that bed, staring at the wall, her body alive, but her world dead. I walked out, calm, light. Outside, my daughter waited by the car. "Is she coming home?" she asked. "No," I said. "She's staying where she belongs." Emily looked down, nodded once. She didn't cry. She didn't ask why. She already knew. We drove in silence. The road stretched endless, clean, forgiving. As the hospital disappeared in the mirror, I finally exhaled. I didn't just lose a wife. I buried a lie. And this time, I wasn't running.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.